probably taking... Wait, did I spore by mistake? Ah, I meant to click Pollen Puff. YouTube, today we're trying out a brand new team, and this team got top 8 at the most recent Salt Lake City Regional Championship with Light Clay Mimikyu. It's a very interesting team, and it was the player's first regional, I believe. So if you do want to check out their team report where you can grab the rental code, make sure you go check it out. I'll link them down below in the description if you want to also know about the details of the team. And yeah, it is something I'm really looking forward to. Light Clay Mimikyu, the Necrozma Dustbane. I thought it was always cool. Life Orb Kyogre with Origin Pulse. Not Water Spout. I really like that because it's not useless after Dynamax is over and if it's taking a lot of damage. But let's see how this team goes. If you do enjoy the videos, be sure to leave a like down below, leave a comment down below. It really does help me out. But let's get started and play some games. Zacian, Kyogre, Incineroar, Rillaboom, Dragapult, and Indeedee. This is pretty interesting. The fact that they have Dragapult on this team. Yeah, that is not a Pokemon we really see too often here. I don't think I want to bring Incineroar, which kind of stings because I think Incineroar could be good here. I just don't think it's worth it when there is Psychic Terrain and a Kyogre. That would dish out way too much damage. I think my safe lead here is just probably Mimikyu, and I'd say Amoonguss. I think Amoonguss is pretty good as a lead here. I think this is pretty safe. Have Kyogre and Necrozma in the back, set up for a Necrozma win con, because Necrozma under Trick Room really does threaten them, especially if I am slower than their Incineroar. That'd be fantastic, because I could probably pick up knockouts really quickly. Light Screen on the Mimikyu could come out really handy here if I'm able to achieve it, because Light Screen allows my Necrozma to basically really wall this team. The only Pokemon that can really dish out good damage to Necrozma is going to be the Zacian if it has Sacred Sword, but that's if they are able to successfully solve my max. The Kyogre, which is the biggest concern, and then the Dragapult with Dynamax. So these are the Pokemon that I do have to fear. However, I could probably play around those, and I don't know what they're going to lead here. I could see a bunch of combinations where Mimikyu, I think the Indeedee could really lead here with like a Kyogre or Zacian, for instance. I could see them leading the Dragapult plus or Dragapult plus, oh, why am I blanking out? Dragapult plus Zacian, if they think they could achieve it or achieve the knockout Mimikyu, although I think it's like really likely here. So yeah, we do see like an Indeedee Kyogre, which is a pretty standard lead, I think, against Trick Room here. This is probably really good for me because I can just go for the Trick Room here very safely here and just protect, because they can't really threaten the Mimikyu unless the Indeedee was faster than their Kyogre, but that's definitely not going to be the case here. So yeah, we just go for a Trick Room here very safely, and we go for a Protect with Amoonguss. We don't want to go down to a Water Spout plus Expanding Force combination. They can't go for Fake Out if they bring out Incineroar or something, so this is really nice here. I can get the Light Screen off and set up with my Necrozma, I think, which is a really good position to be in. This is probably just Water Spout Expanding Force. It's just going to do a lot of damage right here. Yeah, Water Spout's going to come out from my opponent. No surprise here. Going to break that Disguise on Mimikyu. I'm hoping that Mimikyu can at least live one. A lot of the Indeedees do run, I think, min speed, usually for the Rillaboom specifically here. Well, let's find out. Is that going to be the case here? Is that going to be the case here? It is Expanding Force coming out. Okay. And how much damage does this do? I mean, I could spore the Indeedee. We know it's Psychic Seed. Yeah, I do survive. Okay, perfect. I'm able to get Trick Room off. If you're wondering why there was silence, I couldn't say a word because I am bad with English language. I'm gonna Light Screen here. I'm gonna go for the Spore here into the I think I just Spore here the Kyogre slot because the Kyogre protects and then Indeedee goes for Expanding Force. I don't think it's the worst concern. We're actually gonna see a Dynamax from my opponent immediately. Okay, is this gonna be Max Lightning here? Would they change the terrain? I'm okay with this because the Kyogre can only single target moves here, and that's perfectly fine if that's the case. And I get Light Screen up. That's fantastic. This has to be Follow Me then, right? This has to be Follow Me if this is the case, which means Indeedee is guaranteed to take turns of sleep. Yeah, so we see the Follow Me here. Nice. I think I get the ideal position if I get Light Screen off, and I should, because I'm assuming this tire is not that fast or not that slow. We do bring the Spore here into the Indeedee, and a Light Screen successfully brought up. And this is really nice having this Light Screen tech because it just allows me to take on the attacks from the Kyogre more efficiently. We do see a Max Lightning here come out into the Mimikyu. If this picks up the knockout, that'd be ideal, but yeah, with the Light Screen we're actually able to survive. which maybe is not the best case. However, I don't think this is too bad here. Like, I think I just go for a heart swap, and I could go out on my own Kyogre, or I could go Necrozma here. I'm really liking the idea of going hard in Necrozma here and just going for a Rage Powder here, because with the light screen, my Amoonguss will be able to take these attacks for days, and then we could set up a Swords Dance with Necrozma and really dish out the pain, I think, into my opponent, especially since my opponent's Dynamax has already been forced. Amoonguss is looking really good to absorb the attacks, and I'm pretty sure with the light screen, we're going to be able to live 2 max geysers in the rain. The question is, does the NDD wake up early, which could hinder it? But I think this is a pretty good position for the most part, because Swords Dance is just very safe here. We do see the NDD take its guaranteed first turn of sleep here. We're going to see the geyser come out. Yep, I'm assuming that this is going to be, I'm pretty sure it's like Thunder, Geyser, or Water Spout, Origin Pulse, Kyogre. Nice. We're able to go for a Swords Dance here very safely here, and we can go for that Rage Powder. And yeah, this is the nice thing about having Swords Dance on this Necrozma, because I don't need to have like a super effective move next to it and activate the weakness policy, so it can actually set up. I actually threaten the damage immediately right here. This is great. This is great. Hopefully Incineroar could come in. That's okay here. I don't mind if Incineroar comes in. I think if Incineroar comes in, I just Dynamax the next turn. I fire off Max Quake, and they don't have a switch to Max Quake, and I have a +1 Necrozma already on the deck here. And if they go Incineroar, I could probably just switch out Amoonguss, get the Regenerator. And having 8 turns of light screen here is so good. It is so good right here. We're going to send into the retreat here. I'm not too surprised. Incineroar? Yep. Not too surprised. That's a pretty effective play for the Intimidate, especially if I went for the max immediately. They don't want to take so much damage here, but yeah, this is perfect. I'm able to get a Rage Powder off with my Amoonguss, and the next turn I go for a Max Quake into the Incineroar, and I can go for a I just have a lot of plays. I could even just Rage Powder if I really want to. This is Kyogre's last turn of max, so I could also target down the Kyogre right here with a Max Quake if I really want to. I just don't know if that picks up a knockout. And yeah, the Max Geyser is just not pick up the KO onto the Amoonguss, which is really huge here. All right. The Kyogre Dynamax is over, and I think it really just depends. It's just really weird having the speed tier with the Necrozma, because this Necrozma is, yeah, it's not guaranteed to be faster than the Incineroar, so I have no idea what the speed stats are here. But I am just going to fire off a Max Quake here. It does do some pretty impressive damage right here. I might as well, maybe I just max, actually, you know what, I'm going to Max Quake the Kyogre, and I'm just going to Rage Powder here. Unless, I think it's pretty safe here because I avoid the parting shot. Yeah, I think this is safe. I think this is safe for the most part, because unless they KO the Amoonguss here, which they could KO the Amoonguss here, then I get a free switch to Mimikyu, and I think I Shadow Sneak, and I just keep going for Dynamax attacks, and I'm like pretty safe. I'd imagine the last Pokemon, if it's Dragapult, could be a little bit annoying. Dragapult's a little bit hard to damage here, and Phantom Force is going to stall us some max turns. I can get Steel Spike off at least before it attacks, which is good. But yeah, I am just going to Rage Powder because I imagine this is parting shot, and I just have no idea how fast this Incineroar is, so I do want to +1 Max Quake while I can. And good thing, yeah. So the Incineroar is not like the fast variant. We are going to be able to get the Rage Powder and redirect that huge parting shot, and now we're able to get a +1 Max Quake off into the Kyogre. And then I think with the light screen, we should live any attack that Kyogre wants to go for into the Amoonguss, which is really helpful. And they bring out the NDD, so no more Psychic Terrain, or no more Electric Terrain. Psychic Terrain is going to come back, which is actually kind of nice here. It is actually pretty nice. All right. We will go for the Max Quake here into the Kyogre. This should do like 80%. Yeah, good amount of damage to the Kyogre. Excellent, excellent. And now we have a +1 Necrozma under light screen with +1 attack. It's really looking tough for my opponent. Wait, it had Ice Beam? Thankfully, I went for that Max Quake option. That's actually really surprising, though. Wait. Oh, so it's Ice Beam Thunder. Oh, geez, not that Kyogre set. Okay, so it just doesn't even have Water Spout as a move it can even click against me here. Okay. I'm just going to go for a Max Quake, I think, into the NDD slot. And I think I'm going to swap hard into... I don't think I ever risk Kyogre in win con. I think I just want to safely get Kyogre in. So I think I just go into Mimikyu here. And I just Max Quake the NDD in case Incineroar decides to switch in. I could definitely see an Incineroar swap for one of these. And the NDD has taken 1 turn of sleep. It can wake up here. It might try to go for that follow me here. But the Kyogre is just really, well, what it was forced to click Ice Beam or Thunder here, right? I guess I could have maybe went hard into Amoonguss, but we are going to see the hard swap from the Kyogre into the Incineroar. That's okay here, because I can get a Self Shadow Sneak off potentially if the Indeedee isn't able to wake up. That would actually be pretty nice here. We'll find out. I do want one Steel Spike up though. One Steel Spike would be pretty nice. Bring out the Mimikyu. Indeedee does wake up. Expanding Force? Okay. So I do lose my Mimikyu regardless here. However, I do get the free switch to Kyogre in the terrain, so I guess that's actually still pretty useful. I am able to go for the Max Quake here into the Indeedee. This should still do a good amount. Yeah, pretty good damage right here. A +2 Necrozma on deck, and oh, that's a critical hit. I was about to say that was doing a lot more damage than I expected, because usually Indeedee runs a lot of defense. Now we can go Kyogre. We're under the Psychic Terrain. We know that we're faster than the Incineroar because of how the speed interactions worked with my Necrozma earlier. My Kyogre should outspeed this Incineroar. Should be able to go for an Origin Pulse. I think I just go for Origin Pulse plus Steel Spike. I guess what's the awkward part? I potentially might miss the chance of getting the Steel Spike boost here because I crit the... Oh, actually, I think I'm pretty sure I would still KO the Indeedee regardless here. However, yeah, let's just go for a Steel Spike into the Indeedee slot and an Origin Pulse right here. Just fire off attacks. I want to see if I can get the guarantee with the Steel Spike here, but I think I'm going to miss it here, unfortunately. We're going to see the Incineroar swap, though. Okay, that's perfect. Tommy's taking an Origin Pulse. Kyogre, that's fine. Does Indeedee protect? I expect it to protect here. Yeah, okay, perfect. If it protects, that's cool, because I'm able to guarantee the Steel Spike off, which means I get a +1 defense with my Kyogre, and that's huge. Gain a +1 with defense with Kyogre means that I'm always going to be able to survive a play rough from the Zacian. Sacred Sword crit could be a thing. Oh, they actually lived the attack with the Kyogre. Okay. That could change things, I suppose. We are able to get the Steel Spike off in Indeedee. We are now +1 with my Pokemon. I could probably get Trick 'em Up though, because we saw the Kyogre Water Spout, Thunder, Ice Beam. Is it Origin Pulse last move? It could be Assault. Well, if we see Protect, I actually just don't remember if we saw Protect. Because turn 1 it went from Water Spout, and then turn 2 I'm pretty sure it just Dynamaxed and attacked. Yeah, so Zacian comes in, not too surprised. Although, like, can you threaten the Necrozma and +2? You could go for the Thunder Pair, I suppose, on the Necrozma, but I don't risk my Kyogre here. Like, I just don't think I do. But yeah, we're just gonna go for a Trick Room here, which is pretty safe here. And then we go for the Protect, and then next turn I think we just Origin Pulse and Sword Stance. Yeah, seems pretty effective. Or we Sunsteel Strike the Kyogre, which we could go for that play too. That would be pretty safe. But I do think Necrozma is just in a fantastic position because we have Light Screen, we have the boost right here. It's looking pretty tough for my opponent to actually finish off the Necrozma. They could go hard in the Incineroar, but do we still have an extra turn to Psychic Terrain? They reset the Psychic Terrain? Oh, Zacian protects. What? Oh, I didn't Trick Room with Necrozma, so I guess they don't know that this Necrozma has Trick Room. That's fair then. Oh, they do have Origin Pulse. Okay, so there are 4 attacks on Kyogre. All right. Necrozma avoids, but was that really doing damage? I guess you need every bit of damage on the Necrozma as possible, but unless you crit there, even if you crit, I don't think you're KOing unless you're boosted item, and I don't think you're boosted item. Because look at this, +2 Light Screen. I still have one more turn of Light Screen here, and we can just go for a Sunsteel Strike to guarantee the KO here. Let me just double check if we're slower. 88, 90, 88. Yeah, we're slower. So I can always just go for the Iron or the Sunsteel Strike here into the Kyogre. We go for the Origin Pulse right here. The Zacian already has to dodge here, I'm assuming, because it already used up its Protect. It could go for a double Protect, but yeah, Sunsteel Strike going to come out into the Kyogre. Should finish off the Kyogre right here. Nice. And Origin Pulse, please land here. I just want to avoid taking the Sacred Sword damage because the Sacred Sword damage could complicate things. I still don't think they could beat the Necrozma at the end of the day, but if they have Darkest Lair, I suppose. And yeah, Life Orb Origin Pulse is super strong with the single target able to KO the Zacian right there. And yeah, now Incineroar is the last Pokemon. Light Screen wears off, but it's a perfect moment, right? Because we already used up all the turns necessary. The Light Clay actually coming in really handy right there. Well, we also dodged, but I mean, it wasn't gonna even come close to KOing. The Incineroar is going to come out here, and yeah, we just click a safe Sword Stance here with my Necrozma. We click Origin Pulse, We could protect here. I guess we could reverse Trick Room, but like, let's. I'm pretty sure like it's really hard for us to lose this game at this point. They're gonna forfeit the game, and yeah, just didn't seem like they had many options at this point. Yeah, we're able to pick up the win. The Light Clay on the Mimikyu right there. It's just so good because one of the things I always noticed about using like Solgaleo, Kyogre, or Necrozma Dustmane in the Trick Room variants in general is one of the problems is Kyogre is really threatening. Opposing Kyogre is just Water Spout if they have proper support. If you're trying to get Trick Room, it can be a little bit tough to switch into Water Spout in general, but with that light screen from the Mimikyu, it makes it really hard for my opponent to actually damage stuff. And yeah, like you saw that Kyogre, if I didn't have the light screen, was actually threatening a lot of damage to my team. Like Max Geyser was going to be a 2-shot in my Amoonguss potentially. It could have been really scary, but with that light screen support, just able to survive. I think it's really nice because the problem of running Grimmsnarl is you're running Grimmsnarl, and that means it's one less way to set up Trick Room. So having this light screen tech just really, I think, paying dividends here for this team. Kyogre, Zacian, Alolan Persian, Landorus, the Zapdos, and Ferrothorn right here. Okay, so it looks like we got pretty much going to be that Alolan Persian team that did really well in the February I see here. Mimikyu is pretty safe as an option. Yeah, Mimikyu is really safe here. It's a Solfest Kyogre. How much is that going to come into play? Could very well come into play here. I'm very worried about specifically the Ferrothorn. My answers to Ferrothorn don't exist really. It should be a Pokemon that's going to be brought in this matchup too, I'd imagine. So I don't think I'm really worried about a Zapdos lead here. Okay. How do I want to position? Because Necrozma is like weird here. It's okay, but it's not exactly amazing. I guess since the Ferrothorn doesn't have Leech Seed, I could maybe set up Source Stances in the battle. However, it just seems pretty tough. I mean, it does seem pretty tough right here. I really do like, I have to bring Incineroar. I have to bring probably, yeah, this is weird of a game. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with like Mimikyu Amoonguss or Incineroar Amoonguss. Incineroar Amoonguss is probably the most tempting one. I think Incineroar Amoonguss, Amoonguss Mimikyu is probably okay here. I was thinking about Incineroar Amoonguss, but I feel like Kyogre could be a very likely lead here, and if they lead Kyogre, I'm already in tough spot. It just seems pretty tough because against the hyper offensive mode against this team, I'm like fine, right? Because I have like pretty good mons to prevent my Mimikyu from going down and can get Trick Room up. But that Ferrothorn is just the issue because it has Power Whip on this team unless they changed it. Power Whip makes this really dangerous where it just dresses my Kyogre outside of in Trick Room. We're gonna see the Mimikyu plus the Zapdos lead here, which is actually interesting. All right, I lead Mimikyu plus Amoonguss here. This is a pretty good lead for me because I can just go for Protect with Amoonguss and can go for the Trick Room. I'm pretty sure that a double up into the Mimikyu slot shouldn't knock out Mimikyu right here. And then next turn I could probably get a light screen up. Yeah, so it seems pretty solid just to go for a Trick Room right here. They could break my Disguise with Icy Wind and an Airstream. I'd imagine could be into Amoonguss as well. I have Focus Sash, so I don't want to lose my Focus Sash. Yeah, I'm just going to Trick Room here and go for it. I wouldn't be surprised if they swap too. Ferrothorn could be a play in the back. I guess they don't have to bring Zacian this matchup. I could see them not bringing Zacian because I think Ferrothorn and Kyogre are just so good in this game right here. But maybe they... I mean, I think Kyogre is broad here because it's Assault Vest. Dynamax comes out immediately. Okay. So this team really does like to Dynamax the Zapdos immediately. However, I don't think you can prevent Trick Room up. I guess you could try to take the knockout on Amoonguss here. I'm pretty sure that I survive. If I don't survive, I'm going to be like pretty sad. But I feel like Mimikyu has good enough Spadef, especially with max HP. Even out of Disguise Break, we should be able to survive here. Let's see. We go for the Protect here with my Amoonguss as we see the Outplay come out into the Mimikyu completely fine. Which means I could have got a Spore off, but that's a little bit unfortunate. But again, I don't think this is too bad. Let's find out. Is it going to be Airstream? It is an Airstream coming out probably into Mimikyu as well. Yep, they doubled the Mimikyu. Yeah, I'm able to survive. Yeah, that's exactly what I expected here. So their turn one, they didn't get the Trick Room knockout, and now I have Spore Pressure, which is really good against their team. I'm going to go for the Trick Room here with the Mimikyu, and I'm going to go for a Spore into their Zapdos. I don't know if they go hard Ferrothorn. I can see them going hard Ferrothorn, but I don't know if that's really worth it to them. I'm just going to Spore the Zapdos here because we know it's a Life Orb and not the Goggle set. And we're just going to go in a hard Kyogre here. Because foul play, I could just go for the Pollen Puff immediately. We're stalling out some turns from the Zapdos. I wouldn't be surprised if Zapdos max guards here. And yeah, that could definitely be a play I see. If they go hard Fairforn, it's a little bit rough. I think I just throw off max geysers realistically and just try to dish out as much damage as I can with the Kyogre, which I think is a fair play here. Okay, nice. We are able to get Spore off into the Zapdos right here. Nice. And foul play just going to come out in the Kyogre. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. It is going to be a fake tears coming out. Okay, into the Kyogre. No, in the Mungus. Okay, I have safety goggles anyway. I mean, not safety goggles, focus sash. So I can go for a Spore into the Persian here. And do I want to max here? Is my response to max? I might. I could definitely see myself going for the Geyser right here and dishing out a huge amount of damage to my opponent's team. If I had Water Spout, I would just click Water Spout, I think. But yeah, I think I'll go for the Life Orb Max Geyser into Zapdos. It might actually pick up a knockout because of how strong it is. Although I think I would need Water Spout Max Geyser specifically here. We'll see. The Zapdos is taking chip. Max Geyser are still really strong, especially with the Life Orb on the Kyogre. A Spore, no Fairforn just being brought out here. So I wonder if they want to just preserve it being healthy, because Fairforn can't really switch in, right, to 2 Water Spouts, I guess. So that is probably why they're conserving the Fairforn and not going hard into it. But losing Pokemon immediately is going to hurt them in the long term, as we do see it is going to be the Max Guard come out for my opponent, and the Spore is going to come out into the Persian. So this is a really nice turn here, as I am able to do I want to go for Spore and a Zapdos the next turn? Not really, right? They could go hard in a Kyogre here, I guess. I suppose it doesn't really matter to me. I think I just Pollen Puff the Persian, and I get 2 turns where I have my Kyogre out in Dynamax and just dish out a huge amount of damage in Trick Room. So we'll just go for a Spore into the Persian and Max Geyser into the Zapdos. Even if they switch into their Assault Vest Kyogre, which is one of their best switch-ins, or Fairforn, is taking a pretty decent chunk. And yeah, I'm breaking the Sash. They don't have the offensive Dynamax option anymore. There's a chance I can reset Trick Room because I do have Pollen Puff on the Mimikyu, and I have Pollen Puff on the Amoonguss, and I can Pollen Puff the Mimikyu to gain back some HP and redirect the attacks away from my Mimikyu. That's also another option that I am considering right here. However, I do just want to break Sashes at this point. They don't really have the best offensive play right here. We are going to see the Zapdos retreat, which is completely fine, into, I don't know what Pokemon that is. That's going to be the Kyogre. Okay, so this Kyogre is probably taking... Wait, did I Spore by mistake? I meant to click Pollen Puff. Oh, it's because it's a bug move. So I thought, okay. Max Geyser still does a pretty solid amount of damage to the Kyogre right here. I don't want to... I don't think I want... I know the Kyogre can't protect here. Yeah, wait, it's not even a bug. What am I saying? I guess I just clicked Spore by accident. I thought I clicked Pollen Puff. I get to click Pollen Puff now, and I get to go for a Max Lightning into the Kyogre. I don't think I need Spores for the rest of the game, because if it's Zacian, I'd rather just redirect its attacks. If it's... Yeah, and nothing switching into Max Lightning anyway from my opponents. I wonder if Max Lightning does KO here, though. It's Life Orb, but there's an Assault Vest on that Kyogre, most likely. I think it has to, right? In order to take that little damage from the Max Geyser, it should be the Assault Vest. It's going to be a close, whether it KOs or not. We will get a Pollen Puff off, so we do break the Sash on the Persian. I could have 2-shot it, so that's definitely my bad. I accidentally went for the Spore there. I wasn't even predicting a switch. I just accidentally clicked Spore right there. I guess it's just the habit. Max Lightning into the Kyogre slot does pick up a knockout, so I am able to eliminate the Kyogre, which is great, because that's my opponent's answer to Fairforn, just gone right there. And I still have Life Orb Origin Pulse that I can just threaten heavily against my opponent. And assuming I hit the Zapdos, I just pick up the knockout, so this is pretty good. And the Persian stays asleep, which is great. And I think I have... Okay, last Trick Room's over now. However, I do just threaten with Origin Pulse at this point. If it's Zacian in the back, I mean, I think it's Fairforn, right? It should be Fairforn. If it's not Fairforn, I'm really liking our position. Like, I mean, really liking our position. If it's Fairforn, I just... Do I go hard in Incineroar? I think I go hard in Incineroar, and I think I Pollen Puff. We're going to see a Zapdos coming in. Okay. Which is really good for me, because these are the Pokemon I can use to open up the door. As long as I hit my moves, I Rage Powder here safely, and I just Origin Pulse, because we know it's not Goggles on the Zapdos. We saw Life Orb. So interesting choices my opponent's been making this game. However, come on, Kyogre, just hit your Origin Pulses. Just hit your Origin Pulses. I want to get rid of this Persian, and I really want to get rid of Zapdos immediately. If we get rid of Zapdos, it's like the main offensive threat, and I just don't know if Ice Beam of Life or maybe does get to knock out. Maybe I'm underestimating Kyogre. However, I would really like to get this Origin Pulse off right here and really just pick up the knockouts. Maybe it's a bit greedy. However, I think I have room to be. The Zapdos protects too, so yeah, I don't think this is too bad right here. All right, Rage Powder does come out from the Amoonguss. The Persian takes 3 turns of sleep. That's unfortunate for them. They do wake up here, however, and they get a foul play off to break my sash. Okay. Cool. Is it Zacian in the back? I'm just curious if it's Zacian in the back, because if it's Zacian in the back, I change my game plan immensely. But if it's Fairthorn, I just keep clicking Origin Pulse. I just keep clicking Origin Pulse. Or maybe I do click Ice Beam because I could probably just taunt with Mimikyu anyway. Yeah, that could work, especially since the rain's over. Let's find out. It's kind of weird because the Zapdos, if it's unchanged, the moveset, it's very, very inaccurate moves as the last remaining. It is Zacian as the last Pokemon. Okay. I am surprised because no Fairthorn against this team is an interesting choice. I think I just go hard Mimikyu here and hard Incineroar for a slot because I don't really need Incineroar too much anymore, and I might as well get my Regenerate back for my Focus Sash, right? Let's just go hard in Incineroar here and go hard into my Mimikyu and sack it right here. Then I'll fake out pressure. I can go for like, I have a lot of plays that I can make here at this point. Just bring out the Incineroar because like I just get into a position I think where I Rage Powder safely, and it just seems pretty safe. Get the Intimidate off into Zacian too, as the Zacian, unless they change it, could have Solar Sands, could have Substitute, could be an option here, and it's definitely a play. Let's find out. Just Behemoth Blade going to come out though. I imagine this is just going to target the Amoonguss, and I'm pretty sure that my opponent's going to rely on hitting a Thunder, I think, outside of Rain into the Kyogre. If we get paralyzed, it could get a little bit annoying. However, I still think we're pretty safe for the most part here. The Mimikyu is going to go down. We're going to see a Thunder. Yep, that is the downside of running the Zapdos, especially using the Dynamax super early right here. I think Hardened Amoonguss is actually the play here. Yeah, it is the play. And I think I just Flare Blitz here. Yeah, I think I just Flare Blitz safely. Snarl, I'm risking crits. I mean, I think this end game, I'm just risking crits in general. Did I just U-turn here? I think Zapdos should protect because this is Fake Out Spore, right? As a potential option. I think I just Spore the Zapdos and I just Flare Blitz anyway. Where did I U-turn? I guess if they double attack my Amoonguss, then the game gets a little bit awkward. So maybe I just make the fake, maybe I just do the Fake Out Spore play, and then next turn I protect. I think it's safe anyway. Okay, yeah, if they aggressively double attack my Amoonguss, I was in trouble there. So I think this is better safe. Hey, nice. They can't hit moves, which is awesome. I'm able to get Spore off in a Zapdos. And now I can position, I think, yeah, I can safely position here. Nice, and Electric Train's still up. However, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna go for a, do I want a Pollen Puff? I could Pollen Puff my Incineroar. I could go for the Protect here. I just feel like I have so many options at this point to win the game. Like I really feel like I do. Actually, I feel like I just don't need to Protect. Is there a reason to? Not really. I think I'm just gonna Pollen Puff my own Incineroar here, and I'm just gonna Flare Blitz. I feel like Protect is just coming out from Zacian anyway, but no reason to really target down the Zapdos. I think they do just fire off a Behemoth Blade into the Amoonguss. Okay. I mean, I think Incineroar can just win at this point as well. However, maybe I am wrong here. I could be. The Zapdos takes its first turn of sleep. Flare Blitz is going to come out. This should do a lot of damage to the Zacian. Probably doesn't pick up a knockout. Oh, it does. Okay, no, that's just game then. Yeah, if I'm able to pick up the knockout on Zacian with just Flare Blitz, yeah, I'm definitely going to be able to pick up the win here. And I think this is offensive Assault Vest Incineroar too, so that ends up working out in my favor. I go for Pollen Puff here. Yeah, I think this was still to play regardless because the Zacian protected. Then I still have my Focus Sash on Amoonguss and I can protect the next turn. Now it's just a safe win here because I can just go for, I just spam Spore and a Flare Blitz here safely. Yeah. I could protect Amoonguss. However, I don't think it's necessary to. Actually, I could just protect this turn. I don't think they're going to Thunder the Incineroar slot, if anything. And I just, 2 Flare Blitz should KO the Zapdos. Yeah, and then I could Rage Powder next turn. Yeah, battle's going to be forfeited. Nice! Overall, no Fairthorn brought, which is very, very interesting of a choice right there because Fairthorn was the Pokemon that was really, I think, the thorn in my side, but they just didn't bring it. I wonder if they were just thinking maybe they changed the set, so maybe it had like Leech Seed, and the problem with Leech Seed Fairthorn is it doesn't apply pressure against me, and it still takes a lot from like Life or Max Geyser, so maybe they were scared to bring the Fairthorn if it was too passive right there. And yeah, that could have been a potential thing because taunt from Mimikyu could actually just shut down the fair form. It could actually be able to win. So yeah, able to seal up the game. They wasted their Dynamax pretty early on. I was able to get a Trick 'em Up very safely as long as they didn't crit, which was perfect right there. And then the turn to Dynamax, I guess the only mistake I made was like I accidentally clicked Spore into the Persian that one turn. But yeah, then Kyogre was just able to come in, dish out a lot of damage, and really open up the doors for a late game cleanup, which was really nice. And that is the show. Light Screen Mimikyu, really cool. I really do like the idea of it because the cross with Dustbane, one of the things about it is Water Spout from opposing Kyogre does so much damage. It puts on a lot of pressure, especially against the partners, especially if the Kyogre has redirection. It's kind of hard to handle, but with that Light Screen tech, it's really nice for Necrozma Dustbane to be protected from the water type attacks that Kyogre can dish out, and having Swords Dance is a really nice way to help set up the Necrozma in case it's not able to be like set up with either Mimikyu or Incineroar. But if you did enjoy today's video, be sure to leave a like down below, leave a comment down below. It really does help me out. If you want to check out the details of the team with the rental code as well as the report and the details of the team down below in the description, go check out the creator as well. But yeah, and you can check out the rest of my Series 12 content where I use a lot of fun teams and a lot of cool Pokemon. But that's going to be it for me. Have a great day, people. And until we bow again, I'll catch y'all later.